Let's now shift our attention to the other big story that we are tracking on WION, and this, of course, has got to do with what is happening in the port city of Gwadar, where WION has, of course, been getting you ground updates for more than a month now. The protest, of course, started off with just a few hundred people demanding for their rights in the port city of Gwadar, and now it has turned into a sea of people who are out on the streets and they're demanding for their rights. They want the government to, of course, respond to them. They want the government to give them basic fundamental infrastructure. They're demanding for better education facilities, better health facilities. They're demanding for fishing rights for the local people in Gwadar. Now, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has been forced to listen. A ministerial delegation from the government is set to arrive in the port city of Gwadar later today to try and negotiate with the protesters. And our correspondent, Anas Malik, has been tracking the story very closely for us from the port city of Gwadar. He sent us this report. Take a look.
Well, a month to the Gwadar protest, and the protest seems to continue and grow day by day. Yesterday, we saw the Pakistani opposition parties, Jamaat-e-Islami's delegation and the delegation of the Pakistan People's Party visiting. The government has announced that two of its ministers, federal ministers, will be visiting Gwadar as well and try to negotiate and solve their problems. Asad Umar and Zubaida Jalal, it is expected that the ministerial delegation is to arrive today, and then they will be going back to Islamabad to brief the Pakistani Prime Minister on the developments. Maulana Hidayatur Rahman did try to negotiate with the Commissioner Makran of the region yesterday, but the negotiations failed and it did not progress. And he says that he will not be stepping down from his demands until they are practically implemented. Anas Malik in Gwadar, Pakistan, for WION World is One.
Now, what is interesting about these protests that are unfolding in the city of Gwadar are the demands that are being put forth by the local people there. They're not asking for any religious structures to be constructed. They don't want any kind of a concession from the government. What they want is that they want the government to fulfill its duty for being elected. Civil rights activists, there are fishermen, there are men, women and also children who are out on the streets in Gwadar, and they are demanding that the government, in fact, should come forth and fulfill basic necessities that people have in the port city, of health infrastructure, of educational infrastructure, of fishing rights for the localites there. They also want those passes to be done away with, where local people are denied access into some areas within the port city. Our next report gets you all the details.
These protesters have been here for nearly a month. All they are asking for are basic amenities. Balochistan is one of the poorest provinces in Pakistan. It is rich in resources. But the people here are neglected. For years, it has been experiencing a disappointing growth rate, widespread poverty and bad governance.
We've been here for the last 1 month. We demand justice for Gwadar residents. We're asking for doctors. There's no doctor here. We need to go to other cities for treatment. Sometimes people die on their way. There is no facility here. Gwadar is small, but it should be given some importance. We need more facilities. During summers, there is no electricity or water.
40% of people in Balochistan live in poverty. Literacy is 46%. 2/3 of the households do not have electricity or clean drinking water. These numbers are much below the national average.
The people of Balochistan are not getting their rights. Every 5 years, we have to come to the people who are not getting their rights. We need our basic necessities.
What about economic output? Balochistan's GDP is $8.3 billion. It is the only Pakistani province where GDP numbers have declined since 1999. Beijing is pouring in money and building infrastructure, but none of it for the people of Gwadar. They are not even getting any jobs. This is a kitchen where food is being made for the protesters. They say they will be here for a year if the protests continue for that long.
There are a lot of security checkpoints which are inconvenient to the people here. Many drugs are available in this area which also comes through this road. The youngsters are jobless, so they fall victim to these drugs.
70-year-old Masi Zaini with her group of volunteers has been cooking day and night, quite literally, for the sit-in participants, and she vows to do so even if the sit-in continues for the next 1 year. Anas Malik in Gwadar, Pakistan for WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.